The singer R. Kelly's been sentenced to 30 years in prison for creating a scheme to entice and sexually exploit young aspiring singers and underage children. The R&B star was convicted in September of racketeering and sex trafficking. Our correspondent Joe Pike is in New York, where the sentencing just took place. And Joe, they were seeking 25 years or more. They got 30.
They certainly did, Wilfred. R. Kelly is 55 years old, therefore he will be in his mid-80s by the time he could escape jail. He therefore may die in jail. The judge, Alison Donnelly, said there were few crimes more serious than serial rape and sexual abuse over many years. R. Kelly used his entourage of staff, bodyguards, assistants, managers to procure young boys and girls, to control them, sexually abuse them, and also to threaten them so they did not speak out. He has been sitting in court with dark glasses, wearing a khaki shirt, and sitting and listening as his victims have described him as disgusting and despicable. One said he was a Pied Piper who lured children with his money and celebrity. With every addition of a new victim, you grew in wickedness, one said. You used your fame and power to groom and coach underage boys and girls for your own sexual gratification. Another victim broke down in tears as she talked about the impact of that abuse on her life and on her mental health. Then, in a poignant moment, her father stood up to address the court. I didn't come here to bash Mr. Kelly, he said. I do want to ask you, Mr. Kelly, to look at me, man to man, father to father. Put yourself in my shoes. I've certainly put myself in your shoes. But R. Kelly did not look up. His lawyers had been pushing for a 10-year sentence, citing his difficult childhood and the fact that he himself was a victim of sexual abuse when he was young. But clearly the judge rejected that, giving him this 30-year sentence. Two dynamics have really been particularly horrifying in this case. One, that R. Kelly continued with this abuse for so many years, and it was almost an open secret that he was a predator. Some argue that those within the music industry were complicit because they knew they were benefiting financially from the success of his musical career. Another dynamic some of the victims have touched upon is around race. Many of the women, most of the women that R. Kelly abused were black, and some of them believe the colour of their skin meant that their voices were not heard, their stories were not believed. Well, now, finally, they have. We expect to hear from some of those victims and their lawyers when they come out of the court in the next half hour or so. But as one of the victims said in court today, you, R. Kelly, are dangerous at whatever age. He will be out of prison, perhaps when he's in his mid-80s, but he now faces a 30-year term, and there are more charges he's facing in at least 2 US states, Wilfred. So his legal battles are far from over.